Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Otherwise, if you're new here, I'm Celeste Angelica, and welcome back to the second episode of my Halloween series for 2018. As you can see, we are turning ourselves into a ventriloquist dummy today, so if you are interested in seeing how to get this look, it's actually really easy, then keep on watching. Beginning with primer, I'm using the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer, and I'm actually using quite a bit more than needed on purpose to give myself that porcelain doll-like pale-skinned look underneath the foundation. And speaking of foundation, I'm using the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer, and I am just blending that all in. And I chose this one specifically because it is really full coverage. As you can see, it conceals almost everything, and obviously when you're trying to become a ventriloquist dummy or a doll, you want your skin to be very smooth and free of imperfections. For concealer, I'm going in with this Milk Makeup Concealer. This is another one I specifically chose because it is quite full coverage, as you can see, and I really like it because it matches my skin tone pretty well, because I don't want anything that has any sort of weird flashback to it. So I am just blending that in as you would. And then to set everything, I'm going in with the Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder, and I am really caking this on. I am blending it all over my skin because, as I mentioned, when you want to be a doll, you want really smooth, flawless skin, and this is a great powder to achieve that look. Moving on to brows, I'm just starting with a spoolie and brushing through them to ensure that they are put in their place before moving on to filling them in. And what I'm using to fill them in is first this gel pencil liner from Makeup Forever. It is the AquaXL in the shade Black Noir. And it's just a great pencil for a look like this because obviously a doll's eyebrows are very painted on looking. They're very smooth. There's no hair-like structure to them. And then I'm just filling them in with the black from this Makeup Forever Flash Color palette. This is a great palette for Halloween looks. It is a bit pricey, I will say. You can definitely find some for much cheaper, but it is a really great palette that can create so many looks. So if you want to invest in it, I would recommend. For eyes, I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics palette, and I'm just using the brown shades typically. I'm starting off with that lighter peachy brown and just using that as a transitional shade in the crease to help better blend all the rest of the colors that I'm going to use. Then I'm going in with this darker brown shade, and I'm just adding that to the outer V with a fluffy blending crease brush, and I am just blending that throughout, and this is just to help create dimension. Then with that lightest peachy white shade, I'm just applying that all over the lid. Moving on, I'm using the Hoola Quickie Contour Stick from Benefit Cosmetics, and I'm just using a brush to sort of map out where the cheekbones are going to be. Obviously, ventriloquist dummies have very defined round cheekbones, so I'm just using the brush to help define them at first, but you'll see throughout the duration of this video, there's a lot of blending and shading that's going to go on. And then I'm just also contouring the typical places you would contour your face, but I am going in a bit more heavy-handed than typically, and I am just not blending it as deeply as you normally would because a doll has a very structured, precise face. Then I'm just using a beauty blender to start and blend everything out, but I am not blending as much as I normally would because we want it to look nice and brown. Obviously, dolls are wooden or porcelain. Then for a powder contour, I'm using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm just using the two grayer brown shades to sort of buff into the cream contour that we just placed along our cheekbones, as well as all of the other places that you normally contour your face. And this is just to help set as well as sort of enhance the brown color all over the face. This is just going to help it last a lot longer throughout the day, and it also makes it a little bit more vivid looking. And I'm also taking that along the contours of my nostrils as well, because if you look at a real ventriloquist dummy's face, or a doll even, their cheekbones and their nose is specifically very defined. And then I'm just taking a darker brown shade from the eyeshadow palette and just sort of carving out the cheekbones a little bit more to add dimension. And then I'm also starting to map out where the jaw lines, or the mouth lines, I guess you would say, will go. This is typically where the doll's mouth would open and close when it talks. And I'm just using a bunch of those brown shades that I previously showed you from the contour palette and eyeshadow palette. For mascara, I'm using the Benefit Bad Gal Bang, and I'm just lightly applying a simple layer to the lashes just to help blend them in with the false lashes that I'm about to apply off camera. And voila! Now we're just taking that gel eyeliner pencil again and just tracing out along the lash line. This is just to cover up the false lashes, but we're not doing anything else. We're not adding a wing or anything like that. Using this jumbo eye pencil from NYX Cosmetics, I am just tracing that under the lower lash line. This is just to help give that doll-like bigger eye effect. And then I'm also using the liquid liner that's in white from NYX as well to just sort of set it in place and also enhance the white color to make it a little bit more vivid. Then using the black liquid liner, also from NYX, I'm just starting to trace out the lower liner as well as my attempt to create bottom lashes. Obviously this would be easier if you had a real pair of false bottom lashes, but if you don't, you can just attempt it like I did. Then I'm going back into the nose contour and just deepening that a little bit more, as you can see. Then taking that black paint from the Makeup Forever Flash palette, again I'm just creating some faux freckles. You could use brown if you wanted it to be more subtle and realistic, but obviously a doll is as plastic as it can get. Using the City Color Timeless Beauty palette, I'm just taking that True Pink shade for blush and I'm just patting that over top of the faux freckles that I created. I did this on purpose because I wanted it to seem more blended and seamless. I didn't want it to look like there was fake freckles sitting on top of the blush. Then I'm going back in with that Coty Airspun powder and I'm just putting that all over my chin again. I just really want it to look as porcelain and white and seamless as it can be where the mouth is. Then using a really precise small smudging brush, I'm just taking some of those brown shades again and tracing out and blending out the brown at the bottom of the chin. And I'm also using a fluffier brush to use some lighter brown shades and some more gray undertoned brown shades to sort of give it dimension and make it look a little bit more 3D. And then I'm very carefully creating circles with those brown shadows, and I did miss some of it. I didn't get to show you, but I was just trying to create the bolts on the mouth using black and white for the highlight. Then for lips, I'm using the Kylie Cosmetics lip kit in the shade Boss. So this is just the lip pencil that I'm using to trace out the lips. And I did make the points of the lips a little bit more sharp and pointy, as you can see. I feel like that's more realistic for a doll. Otherwise, you could always do the small heart shape as well. Basically, whatever you're feeling. And then to set that in place, I'm using the liquid matte lipstick from Kylie as well, also in the shade Boss. And I'm just slapping that on my lips. And that is pretty much it. All I had to do was throw in some contacts and a wig, and you are a ventriloquist dummy. Alrighty, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you did, and let me know what other kind of Halloween videos you'd like to see leading up to October 31st. Please be sure to subscribe down below or at the end of this video if you haven't already. It would mean so much to me, and I have quite a few other Halloween tutorials in the works for you guys. Other than that, I hope you're having a great day or night wherever you are, and I will see you very soon in the next one. Stay spooky.